Whoop whoop! Hello there, my Michelle here, and welcome back to my channel. So, in today's video, I'll be counting down my top 5 favorite series for you guys. So, stick around and enjoy. Money Heist or La Casa de Papel. Now, this is a heist crime drama television series created by Alex Pino. Now, this series is in Spanish, but there is a English version. But what I find with the English version is that the words don't usually go in time with how the actual actors are saying it. Now, this series was first released in May 2017 and has 2 seasons with 4 parts. Of this series is pulling off impossible money heists. So they did one on the Royal Mint of Spain and the Bank of Spain. So there is this guy called the Professor. Now the Professor is basically the brains or the mastermind behind these plans. So he already has the layout of the heist and things that can go wrong and how to prevent it. So he recruits 8 individuals with different background. Now, these people are all criminals or have a criminal record, but they are skilled in different things. So the professor gives them some rules, and one of the rules was that they should never tell anyone their real name. So he insisted that they pick names of countries to be their new names. The professor teaches them the plan of the heist, going over the layout and how to prevent a situation. Now, they are expected to spend 11 days in each bank to print new money that will be untraceable. Now, in the first bank, they printed about 2.4 billion euros. They were also faced with elite police forces who were trying to get in to rescue hostages. Now, they took hostages in order to negotiate with the police forces, because if there were no hostages, the police would have just barged in and probably killed all of them. How to Get Away with Murder. Now, this is a legal thriller series created by Peter Nowak. It started in September 2014 and concluded May of this year. It has 6 seasons. Now, each season consists of 15 episodes, and these episodes are usually around 43 minutes long. Now, what I love about this series is that every season starts off with a mystery to solve, and that has you in suspense and curious to know what happens next. It revolves around a lady named Annalise Keating. Now, Annalise Keating is a criminal defense lawyer and a law professor at a university. So every year she picks 5 students from her first year law class to come work with her. Now, eventually, these students become entangled and caught up in a web of lies due to the work she does. Because she is one of the best defense attorney out there, they want to one day be like her because she has never lost a case. Now, she goes to the length to ensure that she proves that all of her clients are innocent, no matter what the cost. This is the Keating Five. Now, as these students go along through law school, their lives become difficult because they try to do everything to please Miss Keating. Now, Miss Keating also develops some enemies due to the fact that she is one of the best criminal defense attorneys out there. Eventually, they try to bring her down, but being the strong woman that she is, she manages to beat them at their own game. Now, this is a fantasy drama series based on a book series, and there is also a video game as well. Now, The Witcher takes place in the year 1201. It was first released on Netflix in December 2019 and currently has 1 season which consists of 8 episodes. Now, these episodes usually last between 47 to 67 minutes. Now, the Witcher, who is Geralt of Rivia, portrayed by the actor Henry Cavill, is a mutated monster hunter. So he is basically paid by people to hunt and kill monsters who might be terrorizing villages and killing family and friends. Now, the Witcher struggles to find his place in the world as people think Witchers are heartless and emotionless. But this is not so. The Witcher eventually falls in love with Yennefer of Vengerberg, who is a mage. Now, Yennefer of Vengerberg was a deformed girl. She was eventually bought by another mage named Tessia because of her power. So, she was taken to a school called Aretusa to learn magic. Now, there she learned to do spells and control her magic and stuff like that. Now, Yennefer of Vengerberg and the Witcher actually met because the Witcher's friend was in urgent need of magical attention because the Witcher was trying to catch a djinn, and he and his friend got into an argument and the djinn escaped and strangled his friend. So then the person like started to like suffocate. He eventually had to go to a nearby village to find a mage. So Yennefer of Vengerberg eventually healed his friend. The opening scene of The Witcher is whereby Geralt of Rivia is seen fighting and eventually killing a monster called the Kikimora. So this is what the Kikimora looks like. Now these are like the three main characters. We have the Witcher in the middle, we have Yennefer of Vengerberg on the right, and we have Ciri on the left. Now, you should go and watch this series to find out more of it. So if you're into fantasy and like mythical creatures and stuff like that, this is the ideal series for you. Stranger Things is a Netflix original sci-fi slash horror web series which takes place in the year 1983 in Hawkins, Indiana, and was created by the famous Duffer brothers. It was first released on Netflix in July 2016 and currently has 3 seasons. Now, these seasons typically have between 8 to 9 episodes, which last about 45 minutes to an hour. It starts off whereby a young boy named Will Byers goes missing, which sends the town in shock because nothing bad ever happens there. Now, while searching for Will, his friends discovered this girl named L or 11 in the woods. But what they don't know is that she had just escaped from a laboratory in Hawkins. So she had bald head and was wearing a hospital. 11 had just escaped from this laboratory in Hawkins where she was experimented on, which eventually she developed this power so she could move objects with her mind. Now, how 11 escaped from this laboratory is that while doing one of these experiments, they opened a gate to another dimension called the Upside Down, because 11 had made contact with a monster called the Mind Flayer. Now, when that happened, the monster created a link between our world and theirs. So that opened up a gate which caused the monster to escape. And that was the perfect time for 11 to escape through a drain pipe from the laboratory. Upside Down is an alternate dimension existing in parallel to the human world, and it is full of death and decay. Will ended up in the Upside Down because the monster was chasing him. Now, while riding home after playing Dungeons and Dragons with his friends, he saw this weird shadowy thing in the sky. Now that caused him to panic, and he dropped his bicycle and ran through the woods, and he meet in his house. Now, while in his house, no one was home, so he tried to call for help, but the phone was like electrocuted and stopped working. So he went to this shed in his backyard, and then the monster eventually found him, and then the light went off, and then it turned on back, and then Will disappeared. From the light down by his mother, who is Joyce Byers, and Jim Hopkins, who is the sheriff of the town. Now, they had to go to the laboratory where Elle was being experimented on in order to get into the upside down. With great power comes restriction. So when 11 uses her power, you would notice that she bleeds from her nose a little bit. So if she overworks herself, she would eventually become save the best for last. AMC's The Walking Dead. Ta-da! No, this is a zombie apocalyptic series, and it was created by Frank Darabont and Angela Kang. Now, this series was first released in October 2016 and has 10 seasons. 10, guys. 10. Now, each season, except for the first 2 seasons, has 16 episodes. So I'm just going to give you some pointers before you actually watch this series. Now, there is a new character introduced in between scenes, and don't get attached to these characters because not all of them survive. Now, there is also a new villain or a new antagonist in every season. Now, all of these antagonists are not that scary, but some are, guys. Now, some of these antagonists are bad. Zombies are attracted to loud noises, so that's why they don't really use their guns, as it would draw more zombies to where they are. And zombies could also form herds. Now, these herds could be 100 zombies, 500 zombies, 1,000 zombies, and goes on and on. But when these herds form, they become unstoppable and could be a threat if you are nearby. I'm not going to stay on that too much, so I'm just going to tell you about 2 of like the baddest antagonists of this series. So we have Negan. Now, Negan is the leader of this group called the Saviors. The Saviors are a group of people who ration from others. Negan would be like, you have to give him 50% of what you have. If not, he would make an example out of your group. Now, Rick's group eventually meet up with Negan's group, and when that happened, whoa, that scene was terrible. I'm going to put up a picture of that scene. Anyway, along the line, Negan killed a few people, but at the end of the day, Rick's group ended up beating Negan. After a while, it took a while, but they eventually did manage to beat them. That was one of the biggest battles, but not the biggest battle. Finally here, the main antagonist at this moment, the Whisperers. Now, the Whisperers blend in with the zombies, so they basically wear the zombies' skin. So what they do, they kill these zombies and cut off their faces and their skin and clean it and wear them on their clothes, and they put on the faces on their face as a mask. Whisperers is led by the Alpha. Now, there is a beta, but the Alpha, it was it. Now, Alpha, she is the head of the Whisperers. Now, the Whisperers is a very big group. You best be quiet. Shh. So you can't really identify them because they blend so well in with the song. That has brought us to the end of today's video. I hope you guys check out some of these series if you haven't already, and leave a comment and let me know if any of these are your favorites. So until next time, stay blessed and less stress. Peace out.